Hello. In this video, I'll help you get started on the Chapter 10 homework, which tests you on the concepts of calculating gross earnings and withholdings, as well as recording general journal entries for payroll transactions. For question 1, you need to calculate the overtime rate, overtime hours, regular earnings, overtime earnings, and gross earnings for 4 employees of this company. Employees receive overtime pay at 1.5 times their regular hourly rate for any hours worked beyond 40 in a week. Let's complete the information for employee 1 together. Employee number 1 has an hourly rate of $10.70 and 46 hours worked. The employee worked overtime hours because the total number of hours worked is over 40 hours. So, this employee has 6 hours of overtime and 40 hours regular time. The overtime rate is calculated by multiplying the hourly rate of $10.70 by 1.5, which is $16.05. We enter that amount into the overtime rate column. Next, we enter the overtime hours worked, which is 6 hours. We calculate the regular earnings by multiplying 40 regular hours by $10.70, which is $428. Then, we calculate the overtime earnings by multiplying the number of overtime hours times the overtime rate. So, $16.05 per overtime hour times 6 overtime hours, which is $96.30. When we add the regular earnings and the overtime earnings, we get gross earnings of $524.30. For question number 2, we have the Lincoln Project Company with the salaries for December as well as the year-to-date earnings through November. Your task is to calculate the Social Security taxable earnings for December as well as the Social Security tax. For this exercise, the maximum Social Security wages are $142,800 per year. Looking at the table, there is only one employee, whose combined November year-to-date and December wages exceed the amount of $142,800. Let's complete the first employee together. Employee 1 has a December salary of $10,200. First, you need to figure out if the employee's year-to-date salary plus December exceed the maximum wages per year that are subject to Social Security. $10,200 plus $99,300 equals $109,500. So, that's less than the $142,800, and that means that all of the December salary is subject to Social Security. That is why we enter $10,200 into the taxable earnings for December column. We then multiply the $10,200, the taxable earnings, by 6.2%. Which results in $632.40. In question number 3, the uniform store has 2 office employees and the pay for the week ending June 7th is shown below. Your task is to prepare the journal entry to record the payroll in journal entry number 1. Then, in journal entry number 2, you record the payment for the salaries payable that was recorded. So, for journal entry number 1, we start by analyzing the transaction. The company spent more on office salaries. Office salaries are expenses, and expenses increase with debits. The company withheld Social Security, Medicare tax, and income tax, and the company must submit these withholdings to the tax agencies. Until they are remitted, we need to record them as Social Security tax payable, Medicare tax payable, and income tax payable. So, the company's tax payables increased. These payables are liabilities and liabilities increase with credits. Last, the company also now has increased more liabilities to employees because the employees are owed a paycheck. Monies owed to employees are liabilities and liabilities increase with credits. I hope that helps you prepare the journal entries. Question number 4 is very similar to question 3 in that you are tasked with recording the journal entry for the payroll of Red Company. Just be sure to split the gross earnings between sales salaries and office salaries. Question number 5 has you calculate the gross earnings for Southern Flooring. This is an easy question because it asks you to calculate gross earnings by multiplying the number of hours worked times the hourly rates. I hope this video gave you a good start on your homework for Chapter 10.